Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On the media line, Randy Hunt. He's the Main Street manager for the City of Eden. Randy, hey, welcome back. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Well, of course, it is not business as usual, but we are moving forward in some respects. So bring us up to date around the city. What's happening?
Well, a lot of things have changed since mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
The concerns about this coronavirus have caused a lot of the Eden businesses to either close or restrict their operations. Here out of our office at Economic Development, we get a ton of information from the state. We get national information, and we just try to share everything all the way down to the local municipality information as well as county stuff. So we want to make sure we've got everything in the hands of our businesses so that we've all got an equal playing field and kind of can make the best of the economic impact that we're having now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting. I've not really thought about it a whole terribly lot, Mike, over the past couple of years. But we've got a lot of our business leaders or owners or representatives that get their media in very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the impact that you have in your media. But there's some people that, for whatever reason, don't have access to it or haven't taken advantage of it. Same as emails, same as television. So at some point, I'm forced to go out and literally put this information in people's hands.
Yeah.
The good old fashioned printing it out, and in some cases having to go to these folks' homes that have businesses that are not operating right now, that don't have access to the internet. So, we want to make sure that those folks survive when we come back online also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
now, that's interesting. I want to, before you go any further, I want to stop right there. So you are actually, in this time of social distancing, you are making house calls, so to speak, to stay in touch.
Yeah, you just have to do it. Now, in some cases, the house call is and seeing them in person. Other times, it's sticking it under their front porch mat. Some people are hunkering down a little harder than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, the businesses that are closed, and but hopefully, we're seeing some forward movement in that for sure as we get closer to phase 2. Hopefully that's going to kick in. But I know we have some restaurants and some people that are seen on Facebook that are getting moving again today here in Eden.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty excited about the businesses moving forward. Everybody's got their own informed opinion of exactly the way that they would imagine everything happening. And of course I have mine, and I love to see the businesses reopening. If they want to use these guidelines and enforce the guidelines, I think that's a great idea because it does make a lot of people feel more comfortable. We had a ton of businesses open Monday, May 11th, come back online. A lot of the retail is come back online. And it's very interesting. If you go out, you see the little lines or marks or drawings or tape marks on the floor to show everybody what a 6-foot difference is. And there's a lot of business owners are wearing masks, and a lot of the patrons are coming in wearing masks. So it's good to see that the businesses are back open and starting to get back to a little bit more of the normal that we were used to before this pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Although I keep hearing these negative things, Randy. I'm the eternal optimist, but in the food business, restaurant business, it looks like maybe you're looking. We're talking to some friends yesterday about buffets and things like that. That's not looking good for some of those businesses, is it?
No, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
And I'd always wondered. There was a restaurant here in town that had a large buffet, and a lot of the vegetable bars, salad bars, that sort of thing, where people are sharing a lot of the same utensils. And I always wondered how that wasn't ever a problem before.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these, most of these restaurants, at least where I frequent, Mike, they have outstanding sanitation grades, always an A. Most of the employees that handle the food will have their Safe Serve certification, so they know how to safely prepare and present food so that we don't get sick. And some of these precautions for the coronavirus are not much different from that anyway. So
right.
I think that the restaurant should be pretty safe when it comes to that. Right when this pandemic happened, I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but a lot of us from around the state were at a statewide Main Street conference. And during the course of that conference, it went from everything's okay, we're all shaking hands and running up and hugging each other that we haven't seen in ages, to the course of the end of that event where we weren't allowed to shake hands, and hand sanitizer had cropped up everywhere in the But the last night that we were all together, Mike, it was a buffet style meal where everybody in there handled all the serving utensils.
Oh boy!
And so you would think that somebody would have gotten sick from that conference, but no, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. Yeah, as you said, that's kind of been questionable through the years anyway, and then at that. But yeah, because that Main Street conference, one of the last, I guess, before things began to shut down around the state and around the nation that you attended, and just within days, that's interesting for your perspective there. It went from camaraderie there to social distancing there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But Americans are resilient. This country was built on people that went out and took a few chances, and that's how we sort of we've become the economic powerhouse that we have, and the world leader as far as ending starvation and creating entrepreneurial opportunities and the most freedoms. So it's by American nature that we're going to bust loose and get through this thing.
Oh, sure.
And we have new businesses that are opening right now, and businesses that are starting to really take off. Just in the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 more businesses open in downtown Eden. One right on Washington Street, a business called This Is Nirvana, and a nice lady, Dorothy Gunn, has opened it. And it's got international home decor, and and what's interesting, global transportation has kind of got some hiccups right now, so she's not able to get in the entire inventory that she was expecting before her opening date, but she went ahead and did her soft opening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, right there at 615 Washington Street, that was the former Tommy's Style and Barber Shop. Closed up.
Yeah.
So Dorothy's in there, and she's doing well. Another one that we had open up was Simply MK, and that's at 571A Bridge Street. Simply MK is Michelle Barnes and Katie Wade. Both of those ladies are nurses, and they've decided to open up. And I think they had a soft opening Saturday of last week, and then really opened up Monday. And they said they've had a lot of activity. They have women and men's clothing, children's clothing. They've got toys. They've got home decor. They've got a little bit of everything. I probably couldn't do it any justice trying to describe what they have, but I do regret that the couple times that I've gone in there, I haven't had the time that I needed to really go through and see what all they have. It's pretty eclectic, so it's great to see some of these businesses opening and doing well. And of course, our little coffee shop, the Roasted Bean, there at 620 Washington Street, their business is just building and building. They're expanding their hours, and they're expanding the drinks that they serve. So,
great!
Yeah, I'm excited to see that's good. They're exploring new opportunities. We've needed a good little coffee shop in the middle of town that opened up early, so people that are heading out to Wentworth or wherever they might be going, if they've got to go out of town, a coffee shop that's open up early enough to be able to serve them so they can get where they need to be on time.
Yeah, that's a neat little place too. And I think it is encouraging. Unfortunate that all of this hit when people are getting ready to open a new business, but I think looking ahead, that we can and materials that you have already put in business owners' hands and getting them ready for reopening. So as we get to that point, I think people are going to hit the ground running, and everybody will be so happy to get out and see these new businesses and the ones that we've been enjoying for so many years. So that's just great to add to the mix.
Oh, you're exactly right. Unfortunately, there still are some businesses that are forced to close, and a lot of businesses just don't keep enough cash. Most of them can survive a couple of weeks without positive cash flow.
Yeah.
But a few months is really tough, and that's why I was really excited to see the county with their economic development office move forward with these micro business grants, where they initially started with $30,000, and they put out the grant application where you could apply for your small businesses, less than 10 employees, for a grant up to $1,250. And within 2 hours, they had 8 applications back, and they had exhausted all their funds within 2 days. Luckily, some of the Rotary clubs stepped up and donated money. Reedsville Area Foundation donated some money, and they were able to fulfill several more grants. I think the last count that I saw in any report was 32 of those grants given out around the county. And
wow.
Mike, that was something that our Leadership Rockingham class of 2020 took pretty seriously when we realized that these businesses are hurting. We decided to start a GoFundMe page for the Rockingham County. I need to find the exact wording, so I'm telling you everything correctly. But a small business relief page, Rockingham County Small Business Relief. And as of this morning, just checking, just from that initial GoFundMe page, just shared amongst our group and some of the friends of our economic development department, we've raised $1,237. So we're only $13 away from being able to help award one of those grants. Now we have a goal of $10,000, and we're going to keep this thing open for at least till the end of the fiscal year. And we'll ramp it up. We'll tie in a Facebook page, because a lot of people are sharing information that way, to make our local citizens aware. Anything helps. If we can help keep some of these businesses afloat during this tough time, I'd love to see it. And you know what? Other businesses are adapting, Mike. The owners of Jerry's Restaurant, Tim and Diana Biggs, have put their food truck in the parking lot of the former Jerry's Restaurant in the Draper section of town off Hillcrest Road.
Yeah.
And they're operating from 11 to 4 Monday through Friday. And every time I've ridden by there, there's a crowd of people parked in that parking lot. It kind of warms the heart.
Yeah, sure. And this is a time that we're thinking outside of the box, and that's good for all of us.
Yeah, you really have to. We've encouraged all our businesses to move to a more online presence. Some are doing it kicking and screaming. Others are doing it gradually, and some have jumped in feet first. I know she doesn't want me to air her business out in public, but we do have one business owner that in the last 3 months, by switching to an online model, she has outperformed the previous 3 years that she had been in business.
Oh, wow. Isn't that great?
It is.
Good
really
for her.
is.
Okay.
It involves a lot of shipping and meeting people at the door, but where they've already purchased items. So that was kind of neat. And the city's taking it pretty seriously too. Just Thursday.